Hi everybody, welcome to Sprague Woodturning. My name's Jim. So we're going to do something this week that we haven't done before, and that's stabilize some branches. So if you've been here for a while, you know that I like to fill in these voids with branches. Last summer here in Ontario, we had a really humid summer. And I noticed that when some of the pieces that I made, the branches actually shrank even after being kiln dried. And they didn't fall out, but you could feel a difference between where the inlay was and the branches were. So, you know, from now on, I'm going to stabilize these branches. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stabilize a bunch of branches, and then we'll inlay them in the side of this cherry bowl, and we'll use a resin with it. That's what we're going to do this time. I haven't actually done any resin and branch inlays yet. So that's what this video is going to be. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And of course, anytime you give my videos a thumbs up, it certainly helps with the analytics. All right, so let's get over to the vacuum chamber and I'll show you what I got going on over there. All right, so this is my vacuum chamber. And if you're thinking, well, it looks like a big soup pot, you're right, that's what it is. I bought this off of eBay years ago. I can't even remember the name of the manufacturer. It's got a 7/8 inch thick acrylic top, and it can go 11.5 deep, and I think it is 15 and a half across. So it's a really large vacuum chamber. And what we're going to be using is this. This is Artistic Wood Stabilizer. I got this from Woodchuckers in Toronto, and I haven't used this resin before. I have used the cactus juice before, but the cactus juice for me to buy out of the US and ship to Canada is just, it's a crazy expensive. So anyway, I'm going to give this a try, and hopefully we don't have any issues with it. I certainly do like to use proven products, and I know that the cactus juice certainly is a proven product, stabilizing resin. So anyway, if you're in the US, that might be an option for you. But anyway, we'll give this a try and see what happens from there. So I'm just going to fill up these containers. And what I've got done here is these are cherry branches. And I've got some maple branches in here as well. We have to put some weight on these to hold them down. And we'll fill up these two containers with the stabilizing resin. And then we'll draw a vacuum on it, and I'll show you what happens there. It's amazing how much air actually comes out of pieces like this. So anyway, let's get to that. All right, so this resin does come with a catalyst. I put that in probably about a week ago, so it's good to put it in there. It won't work without the catalyst, and then shake it up well before you use it. I'm hoping that I've got enough here for this stuff, but we'll see, I guess. Looks like we're only going to be able to do one at a time. I'm not going to have enough stabilizer to do both of these. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be one at a time. Oh well. All right, so this is my solution for this. This is just a big old socket, 1 13/16. Theoretically, as these absorb the liquid, they should shrink or should drop in it anyway. But yeah, there's a few that are not. We'll see once we get this filled up and pull a vacuum on this. We'll see if these actually drop and stay in place. I do want to leave a little bit of space at the top. Once we pull a vacuum on this, it's going to be all foamy. So we'll have to really control that until a lot of the air comes out of this, and then it shouldn't be an issue. Let's get this in the vacuum chamber. All right, so I thought I'd show you this. This is a gas vacuum pump. It's got a Marathon electric motor in it. And anyway, when it's in this configuration, there's no vacuum. When it's down, there is. There's the gauge. We don't really need that because there's a gauge on the very top of this. So I don't have a quick disconnect for this, so it's a bit of a pain. I have to unscrew it. I don't do a ton of stabilizing, so it's not really that big of a deal. But that's kind of how the vacuum setup works. All right, let's see what happens. See the air coming out? Now you want to control this, you don't want it to overflow. You just release a little bit of pressure and it'll settle down. So as you can see, as the vacuum comes up, there's hardly any bubbles coming up now compared to what it was before. Anyway, I'll keep pulling the vacuum on this until all the air, I don't see any more bubbles. So that's 28 inches of vacuum. All right, so as you can see, we still got a lot of bubbles coming out. There's no need to run the vacuum pump the whole time. You know, you've got 28 inches of vacuum. If this drops off, then I'll start it up again. But if it doesn't, I mean, I don't see the point in running a vacuum pump the whole time. So once these bubbles stop, I'll release the vacuum. So the cell structure has collapsed from the vacuum pressure, and then it draws the resin in. Now, I failed to mention this is actually a heat-cured resin. So after the branches have sucked up all the resin, I'll throw it in my toaster oven that I've got here to cure the resin. And then that's it. They'll be hard as a rock and won't be able to absorb and lose moisture. All right, so it's the end of the day. I just draw a vacuum on this. It's just below 28 inches of vacuum. So I'm just going to leave this overnight with the vacuum on. There's still air being released out of it, so I don't see any point in just letting it sit. So tomorrow morning, I'll release the vacuum pressure. Hopefully we won't see any more bubbles, and hopefully the vacuum pressure still stays on. I'm hoping it doesn't drop below 26 inches of vacuum, but if it does, it does. Anyway, release the vacuum. Let it sit for 24 hours, and then through the toaster oven, stove, and we'll be able to carry on with our project. See you tomorrow. Okay, so it is 17 hours later, and I'm actually kind of surprised at this. This has only dropped to 27 inches of vacuum. I was really anticipating the needle being way down here somewheres. For the most part, there's no more air coming out of our out of these branches. Every now and then you might see a little bubble coming up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the vacuum, and we should see a significant drop in the fluid, and I'll let these sit for 24 hours and then throw them in the oven. I'm just kind of curious to see if these are still floating or not. And they are. There, I'll top that up as high as it'll go, and we'll see you in 24 hours. All right, so it's actually been 48 hours. When I filled this up, I filled it up to here. The level has dropped to here. Keep in mind that these are not rotten. These are actually fairly solid branches. I see that some of them are still floating. Maybe they all float, I don't know. I haven't actually removed the socket that's holding everything down. Regardless, I don't think it's going to take any more, so I'm just going to dump this into the maple branch one that I've got here, and then we'll throw some of these in the oven and we'll see what we got. Okay, so I've transferred the resin into here, and as you can see, the branches want to float, so I can't really show you. Anyway, I'm just going to, might have to get something heavier than this too, keep it weighted down. I think this gauge is off too. I think it's off by 2 on here, 2 inches of vacuum. I noticed the needle doesn't return all the way to 0 sometimes. All right, so that's it. There's about 27.5 inches of vacuum in there right now. I'm just gonna leave this. If it drops off, I'll give it some more vacuum. Hopefully it doesn't drop any more than 25, and we'll release the vacuum tomorrow. These maple branches have certainly sucked up a lot more of the fluid than the cherry ones have, that's for sure. So ideally that would have stayed completely covered. You know, it's still, I think we're still pretty good. So anyway, I'll get these. Anyway, these are not floating, as you can see that one right there. So that tells me that, you know, they should be full of that stabilizing resin. So I'll get these cooked up, and then we'll get to work on our bowl here. All right, so here's the cherry branches. This is a little toaster oven. Anyway, I've got it set at 300 and for 20 minutes on bake. I did do a test run. It's in the instructions. It said 200 for 10 minutes. I find that didn't work. So I bumped up the temperature and everything's good now. Lunch is served. Usually you can tell if it worked or not, because you'll see that it's kind of leftover resin on the very bottom. One thing I will say, use this in a ventilated area. So it's cold today. I've got the shop closed up, so I'm not going to do any more of these today. I'll wait till I can get the doors open here, because it's not the most pleasant smell, but looks like it's working though. All right, so it's time to do the inlay. I've just scraped off any excess resin that was on these branches and cut these on the bandsaw. And you know, just fit them in as best you can. And what we're going to do is use the Starbond thin and the accelerator just to hold them in place till we can grind them back. That way they're not falling out on you all the time, which can get old real fast, like that. Even with the glue, sometimes it's a battle. There, I'll just let that glue set up, then we'll get it back on the lathe, grind back the branches on the outside, see what we can do about the branches on the inside, because I've got to be able to put some sort of a shield in here. I might just try and grind them flat a little bit. If you try and turn these away with a gouge, there's a good chance that it's going to be all cracked off. So it's best to just grind it whenever you can. Well, we lost a couple on the inside. I guess we lost 3 actually. Regardless, I'm pretty impressed that those other ones are still there. Anyway, let's get some plastic on this and get some resin mixed up. Okay, last time I did something similar to this, I got a bunch of resin staining all around where the inlay was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hot glue and go right around the edge of it so that it doesn't actually stain the end grain. And I'll stick this piece of plastic on there. There, we'll put the Canadian flag on her, eh? Last thing I'm going to do is duct tape this, just for insurance. All right, we're going to use the Pro Series from Designer Epoxy. This is one of my personal favorites, the Blue Laguna. I'm going to mix it fairly heavy because I want lots of pearl. All right, so we're all ready to go here. Everything's been hot melt glued and taped. So hopefully we don't have any issues. Of course, we want that resin to go all the way down the bottom of that inlay. Let's see what happens. Anyway, for the most part, I went down in there. I'm just hoping that the resin pushes down in this area. Try and stick something down there. Anyway, I can't put too much in it because I still got to put it in the pressure pot and get it leveled. Anyway, it looks pretty good. I'll see you guys when it comes out of the pressure pot. Alright, so here's where we're at. It's the next day. Everything looks good. Nothing leaked. That's the main thing. We have got some resin staining in the end grain here. So we'll see if that's going to be an issue or not. Anyway, let's get this mounted, and I'm just going to pull this tape off. I'm not even going to try and bother getting this plastic off. I'll just turn it away with the gouge. So it's wedding season. Here's a double ring and a single ring. These are walnut with brass shavings. So still got time to make some wedding bowls. If you're interested, send me an email to spraguewoodturning@gmail.com. Well, there's our inlay. Pretty cool. I had to go down here. There was actually some hot melt glue got in the bottom of this. So I had to go in a little deeper than I normally would. But regardless, I mean, it's a pretty neat looking inlay. And I mean, I just love this Blue Laguna. It's got to be my favorite. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I'm just going to trim this up some more and then we'll get to sanding. Alright, so this is Mohawk Salad Bowl Finish. Now ordinarily I would buff after sanding the 800, but you know, the resin looks really good and I didn't see the need for it. So that's why I didn't buff with the Triple E prior to doing finish on it. That's some pretty nice stuff there. Alright, this is the second coat of Mohawk Salad Bowl Finish. If this requires another coat, I'm not going to bother showing that. Matter of fact, I'm just going to finish the bottom, and what I'll do is I'll bring these in at the end and we will have a chat about this beautiful bowl. Looks pretty good. Well, that's it for the video. Like I said, I wasn't going to bring you in to the very end. Still need one more coat of finish on the very bottom of this, but I've got to get this video uploaded because it's already Monday. So we've got cherry with stabilized cherry branches, designer epoxy, the Pro Series, and my favorite pigment, the Blue Laguna. And it goes well with this cherry. It's a good color match with this. It ended up being 2.5 or 10.5 by 2.5. I think something like that. Very, very beautiful bowl. And as much as I would like to keep this, we're actually over 20,000 subscribers now. So this is going to be the 20,000 subscriber giveaway bowl. Now, when I drew a name for the 15,000 subscriber giveaway bowl, I said and that's from the shop tour video till now, we're going to pick a name from the comment section, and that's how we're going to select winners of bowls from now on. And I plan on doing this every 5,000 subscribers. So that's what I plan on doing with that. So we're going to pick names from each video. It goes into a comment picker. It spits out a name. Those names will go into a hat, and we'll draw a name, and that will be the winner of this beautiful cherry bowl. So the 15,000 subscriber giveaway bowl was never claimed. So what we did, I went back into the subscriptions, because that's what I said that I would do. So I went back into the subscriptions that are an open subscription, public profile. And the name that was selected this time is Tcastel. Tcastel, you are the winner of this 15,000 subscriber giveaway bowl. And this is walnut with mussel shells and, of course, copper pipe. This is a beautiful, beautiful bowl. So Tcastel, you are the winner. So please get a hold of me, spraguewoodturning@gmail.com. Once I verify that it is actually you, I will get your shipping details, and I will ship this to you worldwide, free of charge. You are the winner. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm going to give people a chance to comment on this video so that they can be entered into the video for Friday, so their name can be selected for the 20,000 subscriber giveaway bowl that we're going to announce on Friday. So don't forget about the script. Don't forget about the sponsors in the description down below. Designer Epoxy, sandpaper.ca, and of course Starbond Adhesives for your discount codes. And that's it. Anytime you give my videos a thumbs up, it certainly helps with the analytics. And of course, anytime you can share my videos on your social media platforms, that is awesome too. Don't forget about Facebook and Instagram @Sprague Woodturning. I have both of those as well. And that's it. Till Friday, take care, stay safe. We'll see you then.